So welcome back to the Higher Desire Partner video sequence. In this video, we're going to really dive into what is happening, the cycle that you are probably caught in. It's what I've come to call the sexual avoidance cycle because I see it so much, both in my therapy practice, but also in my Intimacy with Ease program. This is a common way to get more and more stuck around sex. You know, this is what is causing these negative experiences. So what's happening is, if you have sexual experiences that don't meet your expectations, where something seems to be going wrong, and even not having sex, not meeting your expectations, right? Something must be broken, something must be wrong. What does this mean about me? What does it mean about my partner? You know, what does it mean about a relationship? So we have these experiences and we end up having negative feelings, right? I mean, something doesn't work or go the way we want it to, doesn't go the way we expect. We have some feelings about that. Okay, at the very least, we feel disappointment, but we may also feel inadequate. We might feel broken. We might feel afraid of what this means. We might feel frustrated, resentful, all kinds of negative feelings when sex seems to go badly. And I'm sort of using air quotes, go badly, because it is about what we're expecting, which maybe doesn't help us, right? But when sex seems to go badly, we have bad feelings about it. But here's the thing. Human nature is to avoid the things that make us feel bad. Like we don't go skipping off to the bedroom if there is a chance, a decent chance that we're going to come out feeling worse, feeling like crap, right? We're going to feel broken. We're going to feel inadequate. Our partner's going to feel bad. They're going to end up in tears or resentful or pouty, right? No, we avoid it. And when it feels awkward, stressful, pressured, loaded, you know, it can start to feel like a test that we expect to fail or like really high stakes, you know? So it's human nature to avoid these things. Okay, but the problem is it doesn't just get better because we're not paying attention to it while we avoid it, right? Nothing is changing, and it's actually going to increase the pressure that we feel. If you or your partner, one or both of you, avoiding sex, there is more and more pressure. Right now, there is pressure on your sex life in general, like we should be having sex and we're not, or my partner wants sex and we're not having it, okay? This is increasing the pressure, especially on a lower desire person, okay? They are probably feeling more pressure knowing that you want sex and you're not doing it. But there is also more and more pressure on the sex that you have. Okay, this is really crucial. If you have sex a lot, whatever that is for you, one time doesn't go that well, no big deal, right? We're doing it again on Sunday or whatever. When you don't have sex very often, there's like that much more pressure that this time go well. This time better work. This time we better get to an orgasm. This time it needs to like disprove this fear we have that something is fundamentally wrong in our sex life. Disprove this fear that something's wrong with me or my partner, okay? How in the world are the two of you supposed to show up and have fun together under that kind of pressure, right? Under the microscope like that. You go in so much more loaded and you're way more likely to have an experience that, again, does not meet your expectations, right? How are you really going to have fun and relax with that pressure? You are not, or your partner won't. So you're more likely to have yet another experience that reinforces a cycle, that generates negative feelings, that kind of increases a sense of avoidance. And this is why people go around and around with this. That's why I call it a cycle. It can feel so impossible to escape. And if we talk about, I mean, think about the kinds of things that can drive this. What are the kinds of experiences that you or your partner might be having that generate negative feelings? Think about the kinds of things that can get in the way of sex working well. Again, air quotes here, okay? Working well. There are so many. There are things just about your partner that are probably blocking them, blocking whatever level of desire they might have, or in the way of their sexual functioning, okay? They could be exhausted. They could have health issues. They could have trauma. This is at play, right? They could have anxiety or depression, or they could have trouble letting go of thinking about the kids or whether the dishes are done or what's going on at work tomorrow, okay? All kinds of stuff can create a barrier to desire or sexual functioning. And that's just about them. Actually, I thought of a few more, okay? What if they have brought body image issues in, right? What if their sexual functioning isn't working the way they want or the way it used to be? They can't reach an orgasm, they can't keep an erection, they don't get aroused, they don't lubricate or whatever. They think something is supposed to go a certain way and it's not how it works for them. All of this creates a huge barrier. Then there can be things about you, okay? Maybe you, if you're having some sort of sexual dysfunction, you might think that only affects you, but it could be that your partner is seeing that as a reflection on them. And they're worried about what they're doing wrong, or maybe you don't find them attractive, okay? Or if you're stressed out or whatever's happening in your life could be having an impact on their desire as well. Then we've got like the relationship issues between you. How are the two of you getting along in general? What is the power dynamic? Do you have other kinds of arguments or issues? What are the expectations about roles and contributions in the household, right? All kinds of things can cause strain in a relationship, and these can get in the way of sex life and of sexual desire. And that, again, can lead to negative feelings. Then there's the stuff in your household. Do you have children? Are there money issues? Is your neighborhood safe? Are there other kinds of factors just around, your sort of immediate household that could be in the way? And then there's the stuff about your life in general, bigger stuff, right? Work, parents, other kinds of obligations, stresses around COVID or the environmental crisis or politics or whatever. Other things in the world can throw wrenches in the works around sex and make it difficult to want it or to show up and relax. And again, anytime you have an experience that is difficult or doesn't live up to expectations, there you go, probably having some negative feelings about it, or at least your partner is, okay? And that's what drives a cycle. So when I think about all the kinds of things that can get in the way of sex, I swear I am almost amazed that people have sex at all, because it can be so fragile, at least for a lot of people. Okay, now for some people, and maybe you, under stress, sex is where they go. It's a stress relief. They want it more. But for an awful lot of people, for their brains, there is a pulling back under stress, right? It becomes an obstacle and a challenge. It shuts them down. It's a retreat mode, just sort of the way our brains are built. So for an awful lot of people, probably your partner, if any of this is complicated, or if any of this is at play in your relationship or with them, it's going to have an impact on sex and sexual desire, okay? So what's really important to understand is that the cycle that you are caught in is normal. It is common, to the point that I wrote a whole book about it, okay? There are so many things that can make sex difficult, it's almost inevitable. In fact, I would say that in a long-term relationship, it is inevitable that you're going to struggle with sex, because so many things can make it difficult. So many things that you have to adapt to and talk about, okay? Because if you don't do that, you're going to get stuck in this cycle, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and it can feel so hopeless that you can never escape it. So we have to get over this idea that somebody is broken, realize that this is normal. It is just a pattern. There is something you can do about it. So if you are stuck in the sexual avoidance cycle with your partner, whether you're avoiding it or whether your partner is, or both, you're caught in something that's normal and common, and there is a way out. Okay, we're going to be getting to that. The next video is about your role and what you might be doing specifically that could be making this worse. Good news, this means there are things you can change to make it better.